Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining me for this quick demo of HR Partner for new admin users to the HR Partner system. If you're watching this, it's likely that you have just been added as a new admin user or administrator to your company's HR Partner account. And so for the next 10 to 15 minutes, I'll walk you through HR Partner, the different sections, your homepage, logging in, and how to complete some quick actions on your HR portal. Let's go ahead and get started. The user here is logged in, and the first thing that we see is this dashboard with many different shortcuts. The shortcuts will take you to some quick commands, things like updating leave balances, adding an employee, or viewing all of your employees. On the left-hand menu, we have our vertical blue bar that contains all of the different sections of HR Partner, which I'll walk you through. At the top left-hand side, you have your user's profile. And if you drop down that menu, you can hop over to your employee portal, or you can edit your profile information or log out. Let's start by tabbing down and going through employees. I'm going to expand the employees menu, and you can see that there are options to do things like manage the self-service portal, view the org chart, view any reminders, or import employees. I'm going to go over to all employees. This will bring me to the list of all of our company's employees. You can click on any person, and it will take them directly to their employee profile. The employee profile contains employee details, modules of information, contact information, and employee details for your employees. Every employee profile is different and contains employee information that's specific to that employee. I can edit employee details by clicking this green button here, take a look at a snapshot on the center, update any contact information, emergency contacts, or address information, and of course, add entries to the modules here to the left. The modules are meant to store employee data and be a virtual personnel record or personnel file for your employees. You can add things like different position and salaries, different assets that are assigned to that employee, any dependent information, grievances, interviews, maybe performance reviews, or renewable documents. You have this area to use it and to add entries of information to store against their employee record and their employee profile. At the bottom, we have areas that are directly linked to the other areas of the HR Partner system. So custom forms, checklists, expense claims, e-signature documents, and timesheets. And these are all corresponding to the areas of the system on the left-hand side, which we'll go over in just a bit. For example, if I click on custom forms, this will show you every custom form that has been assigned to or completed by this employee Tucker here. So if I wanted to take a look at something he had completed in the past, I can open up that form and see the completed contact form, which is now stored permanently against his employee record and file. Let's move on to the calendar. The company calendar shows specific information, and you can filter out pieces of information that are relevant to you. You can see things like birthdays, work anniversaries, holidays, events, or any leave amounts. And you can reset the information based on what's going on, based on what filters that you want to see. We also have a helpful article that talks about how to sync the calendar with your own Outlook or Gmail calendar as well. Let's move on to time off and leave. Our time off and leave area of the system is one of the larger areas of the system to be able to manage. An employee can go into their own employee portal and submit a time off and leave request for approval or action to another admin user. So if I click onto requests, I see all of the requests that have been incoming. I can filter those requests. I can view them. If they have not been actioned, I can go in and action them myself or make any notes or changes that I need to those requests lists. I can also see a planner for future dates. I can see availability, balances, allowances. I can import data against an employee, or I can go to policies to manage, add, or edit any of my leave policies that are in the system currently. You can also scroll down to the very bottom in setup and time off and leave. There's a leave settings, a leave policies, work days, holidays, and the company calendar. Again, these all correspond with the time off and leave module within the system of HR Partner. And we have quite a few articles that discuss how to properly manage your time off and leave as a company. Moving on to recruitment. Our recruitment homepage shows you an overview of all of our active job listings, applications, the job board, and other details related to your hiring process at your organization. The recruitment portal in HR Partner acts as a standalone applicant tracking system, which means that every client has a dedicated job board where they can post open positions, collect applications, move candidates through a hiring process, and then eventually hire and interview those candidates. If you expand the configure menu, this is where you can make changes to your templates, to your forms and the questions that you ask your candidates. You can edit your emails or your job boards for template use. And of course, you can go up to jobs to post a new job listing. And to post a new job listing, you would just go to recruitment, jobs, and then the top right-hand side, click on add a job listing. This will open up a job listing details form where you add in any relevant details and information, things related to the position, content related to the job that will be posted publicly. And then you can make different selections based on your needs at the very bottom before saving and making that job public. If I go to timesheets, you can create timesheet templates in a few different methods, use them to create sequences or pay periods that are time-bound, and have your employees go and fill out those sequences with the dates that are based on your template. So if I go into edit, I can take a look at the days that are assigned to the candidates, to the employees. I can switch employees from template to template. I can assign different templates to different employees. I can edit on behalf of another employee, so they can enter simple start and end time with break periods, simple total hours worked, or multiple entry methods for timesheets. Moving on to checklists. Checklist is a functionality that allows you to manage onboarding and offboarding for your employees. In a checklist, you create a new checklist based on template items that are important to you. In those template items contain task items that are responsible for the employee or the admin for completion. So you're basically creating task items that the employee is then responsible for completing within a certain number of days. You can use your templates in checklists for things more than just onboarding. So if you have processes, training, policy updates that you want to distribute to your teams, you can add those checklist items, manage those checklist items, and assign them to one or multiple employees for completion. And of course, just like our other menus, you can filter those employees so you can see all completed items, completed checklists for certain employees, depending on how you want to filter out that screen. In expenses, you can allow your employees to request an expense reimbursement or an expense claim against a category that you've created. So perhaps an employee has gone to lunch or gone to a training event and wants to request an expense reimbursement. That employee can go to their own employee portal and request a certain amount of expense dollars back. You can then action that item and then mark it as paid. If I move on to forms, forms is an area where you can create forms, virtual forms that are completed and assigned by the employees virtually. So this can contain information related to contact information, self-appraisal document, and performance management. You can create virtually any type of online form and recreate it so that electronically your employees can complete it through their own employee profile. Forms is a rather robust area of the system, and we have many different areas, many different articles that will talk you through how to share and manage your employee forms, how to create forms for best success, and I'll show you where to find all of those articles towards the end of the video. Moving on to news and polls. News and polls is a communication feature within HR Partner. In news and polls, you can create a new news article or poll and post that to the employee portal. It's basically another way to communicate with your employees and your staff. You create the content, add summary information, you can create options and department accesses, and you can also choose to broadcast an email out once that news update has been shared. So if I go back over to news policy and updates, I can take a look at something that's been edited. I can add in any content, any pictures, any video, and this is then viewed on the employee portal. If I hop on over to my own employee portal and I scroll down to news, I can see all of the news updates in a billboard fashion. So all of these cards have different information based on the different news and polls that the company has provided with me. If I go to the library allows you to house and store documents and data that are related to your specific company and you'd like to share with your employees and your staff. By default, any category or folder that you create is viewable by your employees. So this is a great area where you can store things like employee handbooks, policies and procedures that you want to distribute, because an employee can go back to their own portal and access and download videos, documents, and general company information in an easy to use fashion. The e-signatures module allows for you to request a signature virtually and electronically via a document that you've already created and assigned a template to, or a brand new document altogether. You can create different layouts and you can collect things like text fields, signature, and dates by the employee, by an applicant, or by an external member, somebody who is not related to HR Partner. So when you get to that recipients checklist, that recipients to sign the file, you have the option to auto-populate a current employee, an applicant, or an external email entirely. So somebody with an Outlook account or a Gmail account, a client or a vendor, you can send a document or a data for signing out there. If you go down to assigned, you can manage documents that have been assigned in the past, and you can go through, view those documents that have been completed, and take a look at the final copy of that electronic signature. You can also download the document. If I move on to reports, reporting gives you the option to view charts that manage turnover and leave numbers and data in the system. You can also click over to printed reports and run a new report on any piece of employee information. So we looked through the modules on the employee profile earlier. So if I wanted to take a look at renewable documents for my employees, I can fit in criteria in the printed report. I can even save that report for future use by renaming it and clicking save. Or I can just click print and it opens up in a separate web report. And now I see all of the renewable documents that are outlined to each and every employee and staff member in my organization. Reports are handy because you can also export them in a CSV file for spreadsheets. You can download all the attachments, and you can export to a JSON file if you're more technical. We also have a setup menu that offers you the ability to create and add information related to your company, edit any admin users, manage the settings in the Configure tab, manage settings within the time off and leave, and run additional tools. It is likely that based on your permissions and your security access, you may not be able to configure or to manage some of these areas of the system. And if that's the case, if you cannot see some of these menu options here to the left, we would encourage you to reach out to your company owner to request additional access there. If at any time you have any questions about the system, you can go to our Help tab and view additional documentation, or you can chat us. And in every window in the bottom right-hand corner, there's an Aqua chat bar where you can expand that menu option and you can get some quick answers, or you can send us an email and our team will help you as best as possible. Now, I mentioned our HR partner knowledge base, which offers you the ability to go through tutorials, videos, and how-to items to do everything from getting started to setting up, managing your employee files and records, or creating those custom forms. I would encourage you to go to help.hrpartner.io and learn a little bit more about all of the things that you can do in HR Partner. Things like creating and using employee tags, tagging your employees, or different ways to communicate to your employees or inviting them to the portal. There's quite a few different options, and we have tutorials for admin users and tutorials for employees. As always, feel free to contact us at support@hrpartner.io with any additional questions. And thank you for joining us on this tutorial today.